So what I'm going to work today is, Maria, I hope you can hear us. Is these particular times in the world is in the place of the polarity of the mind or in the space of the ego, of the separation. The confusion to a normal level of consciousness is huge. So today is the class will emphasis on, let's say you're having a period of, hi Maria, you're having a period of isolation. Isolation is not in a sense of forcefully you have put on yourself, but somewhere it is in the space of synchronicity, it has happened. And this is the greatest time to get to know you more, because you are no longer participating in what the world wants you to behave like, or your friends, or the social media, or the normal etiquettes of the conditioning of your state, your country, your religion, but you're taking not by forcefully, but you are being put into a place of color to the mind. It's like loneliness, but actually what it is aloneness, where you get to know you better. You start trusting your inner guidance more, not where the crowd is leading you as a magnet. You're more pulling into your inner magnet, not to the surface of, not replacing items or not replacing relationships, not, but you're taking a deeper practice where there is not much of a popularity. Maybe you are taken off a place of refuge in a space of awakening. So the class will hint you whether it's a physical isolation, whether it's an emotional isolation, um, to see what this isolation has lightened up within yourself, lighten up, awaken. So saying that, I will move the camera very gently towards Darren, and I will guide you and I will nudge you in places of where you really need to work within yourself and to embrace this opportunity that has been given to you. It's a gift. It's a gift. But if we didn't have a practice, we will replace this with a holiday, with a new car, with a new relationship, all those surface things. Now, saying that, take a deep breath in into the count of 4. Breathing out into the count of 4. In the meantime, I want you to erect the spine and allow your shoulders to relax and allow your shoulders to be spaced, and allow that upper chest to very gently lift up a little bit more. Now very gently see the space of the elongation in the spine, chest. Keep the breathing happen and allow the synchronicity in this present moment. But as I say, if you see these synchronicities through the space of the loneliness, you will separate furthermore. But if you have that level of consciousness awakened, you see this aloneness is not a coincidence. So saying that, now very gently take a deep breath in and push the belly into the front and coming into a seated cow, opening up that chest and elevate that upper chest. Breathe out into a seated cow, stomach pulled in. In that space, very gently pull the anus in, pull the navel back into the spine, chin tuck in very gently. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the space of the third eye. Taking this moment, just have become a spectator instead of these feelings pulling you into a space of, I need to have a companion, I need to put something in this place. Now very gently breathe out, inner still lock, navel lock, throat lock. Now coming into that space of greater elongation, a vertical and a horizontal level of opening. Very gently bringing those disconnect moments and creating a space of opportunity in this very moment. Let it be the awareness to explore. This moment is not just I created, or she created, or they created, or it created. But very gently, it has created the space to accept the truth of you, who you are really. Now taking a deep breath in, breath out, twisting the spine to the right, spread the shoulders, keep that elongation, keep that neck alignment properly, and release in that emotions that are holding, trapping, and creating this very moment of, I'm giving you a nudge that this moment is not an accidental moment. Breathing in back into the center. Mold the formation of the legs. Move that force path away from that mind, that regiment, and embracing the flow of this practice now. Twisting the spine to the other side on the out breath. Now, in this very moment, you come into a realization that the company that you're coming into, or your companion of this, is yourself. Because there is no distractions, there is no external voices, there's no one troubling you. Now, coming to that place of that you don't need a language, you don't need a thought, but purely you have a realization that you can clearly see what you're doing, where your thoughts are, where your minds are. Now breath in back into the center, shoulders relax, arms raise onto the ground, interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Now space the shoulders, drop the shoulders, but extend the elbows, open up those parts of the fingers that you call and you have divided into the space of a body, and very gently observe the body without preconditioning of what you know about the body or the conditions of the body. What is this space as a feeling? Spread the wings wider and twisting the spine to the right. Breathing in back into the center. Change the formations of the legs for me. Arms raise onto the ground with the in-breath, interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. At this very moment, just observe all the illusions of the fears, all the illusions of futures that in a space of dreams. And wherever you want to navigate, it's not saying that you cannot have a dream, cannot have a hope, cannot have a fear. Just feel where you have come into a place of stop, hold, held, breath out, twisting the spine to the left side. At this time, all this level of the studies in the class is for you, for you. It's not to follow the social etiquette, the media, where people are put into yes and no places. So this is a great realization to get to know yourself without the division, without someone separating you, without becoming comfortable for the social norm. Back into the center. Now see that belly doesn't drop too far, but there is an energy that holding, keeping the direction of the spine, keeping the breath moving. And now it's a good time to shrug the shoulders up until the head back and releasing that tension on the back of the neck that you're carrying, the thoughts, the emotion. So shrug the shoulders up, tilt the head back, open and close the mouth wider for a few times so that you can release that external validation that we always seek to. What other people think about us? How do we want them to think about us? It is also still the polarity of the mind pulling you into this. Chin to the chest, breathe out. Releasing the tension of the perception that we have as a separation to other. Now take a deep breath in, interlace the fingers and palms facing into the front. Stretch the elbows, drop the shoulders. Now take a deep breath in. Now, even with this posture, you can adapt and listen and hear and do it as a monkey do, or come into the place of releasing the tension of the habit, releasing the tension of the fear, and releasing what others want. And where have we lost our seat? Now stretch up to the ceiling. Breath out, spread the wings. Clench and unclench, rotate the wrist, releasing the tension on the shoulder level. And palms onto the space of the pranam. Now this is the moment that we have taken the residue out, the colors out, the emotions out, and coming to a place of the emptiness. Let's say emptiness is too much of a hard word, a blank space. Now it's give every moment for you to create what you want to create, not what others want you to create, not what the beliefs want to create. But in this space, you truly hold, but it is a space of a knowing. Now take a deep breath in, very gently humming a om within in yourself. Bring that space of Turiya, examining the truth that you are growing with. And examining that om resonate with your space of the inner self. This is the time you're releasing the truth that you have been living with others' truth. Now, this is the time this Om gives you an offer, an embrace, you a blessing to reclaim that space back to you. Relax after the Om. Now take a deep breath in, stretch the neck to the right, Shoulders relax, releasing the tension. This is a great time to release those tension, release and coming into detoxing the space. And allow that breath to bring you and awaken you and breathe into the space of the truth. Until you come into this place, you will never know how strong, how ethical, how grace you are. Back to the center, onto the other side on the out breath. Keep your shoulders dropped, keep the space. Now breathing in back into the center. Now you understand even the perception of your ego is a company and you love that company, the company that others like. But in real realization, you have become yourself and you don't even need that. And in this very moment, you are taking care of the ecology of the mind and the body. Embodiment, empowerment, when you can trust yourself in the space of the navigation. Now you are no longer bound or in bondage or in shackle in that space of all those complexities. Now there is no need someone else, the government to take decisions for you, parents to take decisions for you, mother, father, brother. Now there's no need anyone else to complete this space because this space is totally, is your birthright. Back into the space of the center. Now, what is this space is doing? It is not running after matter. It is creating the space. It's a preparation. It's a celebration to bring that same vibrations so people with the truth will come into your friendships. Relationship with truth will come into fulfill that place. Now, in this space, when you connect to other places, that level of creation is unbreakable. It's lifetime. It's maybe beyond it every birth. These unbreakable relationships comes together. Now take a deep breath in back into the center. Shoulders relaxed, chest relaxed. Now left leg is set into the back. And now let's exercise this level of learning into the rest of the body. Now, when it comes into the place of unbreakable bonds within the space of others, and when you come into the space of inner world, it is the unbreakable space of the spirit within your whole body, maybe beyond the body even, if you can have that level of realization. Now take a deep breath in, where you are more comfortable, where more of yourself level of safetyness and richness comes in this very moment. And we call it transitioning. Shoulders relax, take a deep breath in, chest lift up, breath out, drop the elbows and walk those palms into the front. Now, every breath that you take, there is a realization that your vibration is complementing the space that you're holding. When the vibrations start complementing the space you're in, whether it's the wealth, whether it's the health, whether it's a relationship, it will bring the space of what you can call a person, you can call a situation. For me, it gets kind of complicated, but it brings you a blessing. It brings you a learning. It gives you a bigger shoe to grow, not to the shoe that you are tied and you're bound and your roots cannot grow. So if this is the place that you feel that you have given a bigger shoe to grow, don't think it as a punishment. Don't think it as a late with the time. It is a space that you have been held and isolated for you to have that space of the growth. This is the space that it will gently navigate you into the space of more enlightened part of you. Palms are very gently facing up, facing down. Just see where you are holding this tightness or the residue, and bring all areas of the body and the breath and the mind a level of genuinity. Breathing deep, seeing space of deep to see the synchronicity. Now, even when I say you to change the posture or the alignment, it has a more meaningful, it has a more deeper connection. It has a relationship to this very moment. It forms from this moment, not a moment of past, not a moment of future. Now, in that very moment, the interaction is beyond, whether it's with a person, whether it's you're listening to someone without your interpretation, you're deeply a listener, breathing in, coming back. Now, what you have is in this very moment a greater gift, a greater treasure. Into a plank. Strong on that pelvic floor, slightly lift up the back of the head to bring that head to the toe connection. Now just observe if the thoughts are coming into the perspective shift. Just observe. And very gently drop the knees. Give a good rotation to the hips. And let that digestion to release and resonate in that space of the healing. Now take a deep breath in and give that space a wider rotation onto the other side. At this very moment, every cell of the body, every breath is a moment of celebration. Now that, why is that? Because you're in the most recognized space of the nature. The light enters into you and you're not isolated by the prisms of the colors of the rainbow. But you can see beyond the separation of the color, the unity of the light. In this very moment, you will never take granted, or no one else will use you in that space. Now very gently spread and allow the bum to drop into the heels. Allow the palms to face up. Now, this is the time that in your willingness in that space, you could see under the aloneness and under the loneliness, you understand what you tolerate and what you won't, what are all routines. So, one, in the face of the aloneness, you have given the solitude and you have a self respect. It's not the armor, because you know that what you are worth. And in that space of worthiness, you won't allow it to take granted by others, not as a separation, but what you have been clearly didn't have the place of balance and boundaries, not as a separation. This is purely coming from the space of aloneness, not from the loneliness. Loneliness, you bait people into liking you. Loneliness, you are not doing that. The only bait is the truth here. Some people have a quiet taste to bite it, some don't have that. Thumbs facing down, rolling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in into a gentle cobra. Now, even that you have discovered the space of the gentle boundaries in the place of, so that you don't go into the stray of the ego, it is not coming in a place of armor, of a selfishness. It's actually coming in the place of more mature level of a self-love. It just allow people to grow into that space. If they cannot grow into that space, the self-respect that you have, it won't drain you. So whether it's a relationship, whether it's a practice of work, whether it has come into a place of balance, harmonious. Take a deep breath in, overlooking onto the right side. Keep that heart elevated, keep that spine in the space. Allow the kidneys to be buoyant, back into the center, onto the others. Back into the center. Now, there is a nutrient in this space of awakening that it has respect, it has boundaries, but they are not as overprotective. But it is where the practice flourish into the space of the realization. Back into the center, third eye, sit on the hands. At this very moment, take this moment, whether you're in the breath, whether it's you're in the feeling. Try not to navigate yourself into the body or to the mind or to a thought or to a past or to a future. Take that deep breath to understand the space of the soul before it taken the journey of a body and a mind. Whether it's taken the journey of matter, whether if it's only in the space of the matter, it's still in the space of fear, hope, and dreams. Now, in this space, you understand the perception that comes as others is also born from you. But if that is born from you, you can understand how complex this if the others have not realized their full potential. But not as a separation. Now, why you have a different understanding? Why have you got a different listening, different taste? Because you are deeper within yourself. And whether the universe have created this part that you're not popular among the others, or you want to take breaks from crowds, and you want to take a break from social media. So people will ask, what's happening? Why are you not talking? But you are being navigated by something else. You're no longer crowd pleaser. Breathing in back into the center, palms onto the chest level, breathing in into a up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Now spread the wings slightly on the fingers. Bring the head down. Push the bum up, tailbone up. Bend the knees and bring the heels down. Now very gently open up the knees further and take about 6 deep cycles of breath in the space of this down face. You will understand now it's coming into that equilibrium, whether it's a posture, whether it's a breath, whether it's coming from the internal reservoir of navigating. Now take a deep breath in, left foot into the front, into the space of the figure. Now, even we are giving you instructions to the mind and to the body. Try not to take it as a separation. The intricate part of the body is the mind. The gross part of the mind is the body. The shoulders relax, just open. And this level of understanding that you're cultivating, and I'm nudging you into that space of the self-care, you will understand it more. To help, you have to know. Take a deep breath in, lift up the space of the chest, breath out, drop those elbows, walk those palms. Palms can face up, face down, very gently. Now, see that at this very moment, when you operate from that realization, when a body moves through that realization, a breath comes into the space of breathing. A mind that is free from a past, future, and identity. There is a huge place of empathetic compassion, because what you see as other is also the parts that you have not been settled in you. So see how your relationship now can go into a total place of a growth, transitioning and transform. Now, whether you're a mother and looking after a child under obligation, that interactions now turning into a totally harmonious place. Whether you're a partner and looking after someone because of this or that. Now, palms facing down at this very moment, you can release the tension that under obligation that you're interacting into your responding in a place of joy. Coming back very gently. Now allow the breath to wander into the rest of the body and the mind, because now the light has got into the surface, the dark, and it embracing that. and it has become together. Now there's a divine show happening, and it is navigating into a plan. Now, whatever the situation where from a loneliness, and when you're embracing the aloneness, you can see the space is being created by that divinity. Now drop the knees, keep the breath very gently in the place of abandon, abundance. So you don't have to starve for breath. Give a good rotation to the hips, rotation to the other side. Knees wide apart and stretch the spine. Bring the buttocks closer to the heels, arms facing up so that the shoulder blades can be open in a more of a place of openness. Now, the more deepen your connection, what is happening? You're releasing the tension that you are holding on the external level. You may use it as, oh, the finances are not in good order, or the health is not in good order, the country is not in good order, political parties are not in order. All these distractions, the external influences, are no longer holding you. So the present moment of this practice is an invitation to deepen your spiritual connection. Now, in this level of silence, you're sitting next to the God that you were always talking about, want to be part of it, but not as a person, because totally of your solitude. It's breathing, it's holding, it's nourishing your soul. Now you could see the obligation part that you had as an ego to understand religion is no longer an obligation now. Because the space that you have created is like a space of a magnet that attracts the truth. You have the company of the truth. The company of the truth has become your co-pilot. Of course, it is in relationships. It is in great relationships, whether it's a brotherhood, whether it's a sisterhood, whether it's you have met the same level of your understanding in another person. But this isolation time is the time that you find palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in, breathing into up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Into a plank, left knee onto the floor, right arm reaching into the front, up to the ceiling. Breathe, open that space, create that space, release the stagnation, right reaching into the back. Touch the floor, drop the knee, right arm reaching under the left armpit. Now very gently stretch the right arm under the left armpit. Whether you want to take a circle to do that, or from there, dropping it further. So in the left arm, finding that space. Now in this time, you can see this space is giving you that opportunity. Now this space is your inner sanctuary. And this is any moment is there for you to tune into. Now this level of your sensitivity allows you to move into this space very quickly. Now take a deep breath in and coming back, gently breathe out into the space of the cat. Breathing in, drop the belly, opening up the chest into a cow. Breath out, cat. Neutral spine. Drop the bum onto the flow of the back into a plank. Now right knee onto the floor. Left arm reaching into the front, up to the ceiling. Give a good rotation, release any tension. Give a good opening up drop under the right armpit. And drop the knee and stretch the Now, at this moment, the synchronicity of this moment is ever present. But you have a different tuning, a sensitivity. Get to know this furthermore. Now you have a very great space of a very pure connection. Your frequency, your tuning, it is very clear. Now in this space, the trauma that has happened to you, or the wound or the breakup, is not a punishment. Because now it gives you not to stick on to it, but to heal from it. And when you heal from that particular place, there is so many other things and other perceptions heal too. So instead of you holding into it and spoiling the great parts of your life, now it gives you a frequency to embrace where you are at in life. Just eat with your own. It doesn't have to have a captive audience. Very gently coming back. Breathe out to the cat. Breathing in into a cow. Breath out. Give a good rotation to the hips and release the tension. Wider rotation to the other side. Now stretch the spine into the back. Now palms facing up. Open the body really well. At this time, you're not releasing the present trauma or the past trauma of yourself. It can be something that we have been handed down from generation to generation. Not necessarily parents and grandparents leave you inheritance. They also leave you with that inheritance, a deep level of sorrowful inheritance. It might be not yours, but because you have been conditioned so much, it has deeply personally tied to you. So this might be the moment that you can take a couple of breaths. You can come into whatever the forms of perception of this suffering is. Whether it's a pain related to the body, pain related to the emotion, pain related to the wealth, pain related to the why are you habitually using generations old things to punish yourself? At this moment, it will give you this very moment without even knowing what words you utter constantly. And taking those deep out breaths and giving those attention. When you are awakened, this trauma self, as you call the shadow, which I have done the class before, will it ever be present? And why are you handpicking things and keep them under your always use? Now this is the time to release all those old stories of inheritance, generations of that. Doesn't have to be relationships, doesn't have to be, it can be a state, a country can have sorrowful inheritance, particular countries with war. This is the time with your awakening and your awareness that you have found tools to release the mind and the body from those traumas. At that very moment, you could see the trauma of the past, the relatives, you're going back, your energy is reversing, tuning into centuries of wisdom, into clarity. And let those old dark places receive this light of you. Become that sacred heaven for them, others. So don't think that this is a coincidence, that the universe has planned it for you. It is planned for all those before you also. For your realization is very important to let go of that ghosting. Couple of more breaths at this time to release that tension. The divine matrix has come into that place. The alignment, the arrangement. Believe in that space of the process. What you're going through is not because of a mistake. It just didn't have the capacity to emerge with the situation. So it emerged with the past story. And it creates that space of I'm fighting the battle alone. Palms facing down, very gently, coming into the child pose. Now, in this very moment, I'm going back to the space of the class that where we start aloneness and loneliness. Now, the loneliness holds the story. Aloneness give you the shower, give you the bath, give you the rest, and it's a gift. Now, from this onwards, whether it's the children, whether it's the community that you're part, the part of the present is healed, so therefore the lineage of the future is healing. And your solitude and your understanding to this realization is very important. So your story on a realization versus is in this moment very important. Now embrace those gifts, embrace those blessings, and wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. Now, you don't have to come out of this on your next slide. You can come out of this in this very present moment. And something all the time was with you, traveling with you, guiding with you. And you were in this space of that loving, embracing space of it without a separation. Stretch the neck to the right, back to the center. Back to the center. After doing both sides, just hold on to the sacrum or to the hips and lift up onto the knees and a gentle arch, not totally onto the Uttanasana. Just opening up the space of the front, space of the throat, space of the back, space of the kidney, and gently sitting back. After that, very gently come back and coming into a place of seating. Shoulders relax. Now very gently take a deep breath, arms raised onto the crown. Of course, coming into the base of there was a battle in your life, but that battle was conquer and embrace yourself into the space of the unity. Coming into the crown. This is the crowning moment that the light you fought so hard to uncover is your moment. And embrace this space of the crown. Hold it. You have to have a great, strong spine and an open heart. Coming into the space of the third eye. You now find through this level of the eyes that the synchronicity that has happened to you, you were never, ever lonely. Throat chakra. Embracing the space of that level of understanding, and may your word comes in the place of unity, not in the word place of polarities. Heart chakra, a heart that is so open, so soft, still have the most power to transform. Navel, to the space of the experience. Meditative. Grounding yourself into the space of this body and this mind in this time and this dimension. That we are creating the portal of the truth. Arms raised onto the crown, cleansing the space and the aura of the space that you're residing in. State that, country that, earth that, universe that. Palms onto the Namaskar position into may the Divine Spirit be with you to the rest of the healing. Namaste. So, thank you for my beloved friends. We are all the companions of this journey together. So, thank you, Maria. Thank you, Sylvia. Wonderful to see you both and Matt. So, as you see, these classes are getting into more into the depth. So we go in the transitioning of the bodies, then we go in the transitioning of the mind, then we go into the space of, we want to expand the space of the light into these two spaces. When these two spaces, the mind and the body, sees its unity, a lot of relationships comes into the space of the unity. And the loneliness become aloneness. And that aloneness is a sacred space that has been created. It was not an accident. If you're alone at this time, or you want to take some time away from the others, not necessarily a holiday, but a realization, because holidays are for the minds and the bodies. You can see people want to recover from a holiday also because they take their minds and bodies into the holiday. So holiday is never a space that they only move their energy. Might have a couple of sleeps, but that's just to forget their minds and bodies, but they come back when you wake up. Or when you wake up into the understanding of the realization, it has a different sensitivity, it has a different strength. And you will see this very gently blossoming. And when I say that it also heals the past lineage, it is so true. And your enlightenment, your realization is so important that this level of lineage is not carried into the future. It has come into a place and it has realized it. So that forgiveness, all these methods are great, but find the thing that is more, not that crowd pleasing, but for your own truth. And be in that. Wherever you invest, the investment will be returned. But the highest investment is investment into this solitude that we are having within ourselves. And when that solitude expands, it will give you a wealth of abundance. Because in the end, a peaceful mind is very important in these times. Love to you all, and I'll see you all. Big hugs, Matt, Sylvia, and Maria, and to Adeza. Yes.